Welcome back to another episode of... Let me pull the volume down a little bit. And it is another episode of... No News is News. I am your host, Alex R. Wagner. Welcome to part 2 tonight, guys. We're going to keep it moving, keep it rolling. We'll be back up and running in a second with another piece of El Said today. We got El Said, we got Hegseth, we got RFK still coming, and we also got a little bit more of Gavin Newsom as well today in this second hour. And then we'll get into the YouTubers and the YouTube sphere and all that news.
Gets hit.
Woo, woo.
Everybody gets hit.
Hey, Two Gun, welcome back, my guy. Remember, who will be president in 2028? We have 805 days until election, and we've got Marco Rubio, and he's got how many wins? 28 wins up against Gavin Newsom with how many wins? 24 wins. Get your vote in now. Part 2 of the news tonight starts now. Let's get back into it. Let me double check, make sure we don't got any other news that happened while that was going on. Nothing else. All right, let's get back into it. El Said. Wee wee.
No news
is news. All right, guys, let's get back into it. Boom, boom. El Said on stage. They're throwing campaign after campaign at this guy, aren't they?
W. Brand, the Texas historian, and it's about Franklin D. Roosevelt. And it's called Traitor to His Class. Traitor to His Class. And I learned something remarkable from that book, which is FDR did not call our a very simple superstition that.
All right, y'all, let's remind them what we're about. Money out of? Money in your? Medicare for? Money. Money in your? Medicare for? So I know we have new friends here. So I'm going to teach you one thing. Our whole thing is money out of politics, money in your pocket, and Medicare for?
He's like teaching people how to cheer.
One more time, because I think there are some folks who are like, what are you saying?
Beethoven
Money
back.
out of? Money.
Mike is fucked on this one.
Medicare
Might have to
for?
cut this one off.
There.
Let's jump over a little bit, see if he keeps going.
And either way, we cross a 10-year difference in life expectancy. It doesn't matter where you grow up. Doesn't matter what you or your parents do for work. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. You deserve a long, healthy life in these United States of America. Now, I went to medical school to learn how to heal. On the way there, I got some really bad advice on my last day at the University of Michigan. Go blue.
God damn.
We can
We're a
go
Chiefs
green
fan.
too, as
Get
long
the
as we don't go
fucking-
red. But also go blue. I was the valedictorian of my class, and
No, I think they will get the Medicare for all, but that's kind of my point, which is like, they're like money out of politics, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. Okay, so money out of politics is he didn't take any Jew money. All right, you still took all of the big pharma money. Money in my pocket. That means that you don't have to pay for Medicare anymore on your check. So because we're going to get all free health care or whatever. So there you go with that one. And Medicare for all. We're all going to be healed when we have more money in our paychecks. Like it's just like it's such a fucking nothing promise. It's such a nothing promise.
I was selected to give the student commencement speech at the university, which was a real honor. Except for nobody went to go listen to me that day, including my own parents. They all went to go listen to the main speaker, a certain gentleman by the name of Bill Clinton. So I give my speech, President Clinton gives his speech, and he calls me out in his speech. He really liked the speech. And he comes back to me after the speech is over, and he looks at me, he does his Bill Clinton thing, son, why are you going to medical school? Which, by the way, is not a question anybody asks you when you go to medical school. And the first thing that came in my mind was, oh, I'm brown and Muslim, that's what we do. But also, I love people and I love science, and this is how I want to serve. That's great, but you got a gift for communicating. Maybe someday you'll run for office. I said, that's really nice of you to say. But also, did you see my name? it. There's a whole nother part, and that's just the first one. There are 2 others after that.
Oh, so now he's playing into it.
And
He's
they
trying
all
to
got
win
sounds
with
that
it.
come out of parts of people's throats. Most people don't know they have. People like me don't get to run for office.
I'll be back in 1 second, guys. I gotta get more coffee. Ugh, for this shit. Gotta get more coffee for this shit.
So here's the thing about it. That was 2007. Y'all know what happened in 2008. Our state helped elect a guy, Barack Hussein Obama, to the presidency.
Fucking suck.
And it was the first time I ever saw myself in a politician. You know, I was like, his dad immigrated from Africa. My dad immigrated from a different
We'll skip this one.
He had mixed parents. I was raised by my dad and my stepmom, Jackie.
We gotta skip this
The
one.
daughter of the American Revolution from the middle of the state.
Ain't no fucking way. I'm not listening to some geriatric bullshit when it's skipping like that. All right. Pete Hegseth, he's given an award to a Marine that served during Afghanistan's withdrawal
2nd Battalion,
at
1st
Abbey
Marine
Gate.
Regiment ceremony. Secretary of War. The bug was still there. Today our hearts were a guest senior
Come on, give me it. There we go.
Country. And the chief
death.
Well, Sean Parnell, thank you very much. So well said. Commandant, likewise, thank you. Mr. Secretary, head of PNR, chief, senior enlisted, all the way up and down the line, officers, non-commissioned officers, and above all, the families that form the bedrock of our great nation. Welcome to the Pentagon today. Today is August 26th, 2026. And as was mentioned exactly 5 years ago, at a dusty, exposed checkpoint in Kabul called Abbey Gate, the world witnessed the absolute best of America standing in the gap to defend our country and those they serve alongside during one of the darkest strategic hours. These 3 Marines embody a timeless truth written in the book of Proverbs. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. On that chaotic day, you men were bold as lions. When the wicked sought to sow terror, these men stood as lions at that gate, bold in their purpose, fierce in their resolve, and unbreakable in their courage. Yet, for half a decade, this building allowed bureaucratic caution, or maybe politics, to stand in the way of proper recognition. Today, on this milestone anniversary, we declare that those days are over. True national readiness and our core strategic mission to achieve peace through strength do not begin simply with weapon systems or budgets. It starts with the sacred trust between the War Department and the warriors we send into harm's way. Peace through strength means our adversaries, yes, they fear our resolve, but they cannot fear our resolve if our own warfighters, if our own Marines do not trust that the department will stand by them in the hour of their greatest need. And today, at least in part, we restore that trust. Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan Eby, Corporal Michael Gretzen, and Lance Corporal Jordan Houston. Gentlemen, Marines, welcome. Today we're here to look you in the eye and to deliver the recognition you earned 5 years ago. Because of what you did at Abbey Gate was not just a display of exceptional tactical skill and bravery.
Fucking respect.
It was the very definition of the warrior spirit that we're reviving here and that preserves our nation and underpins our national defense. The mission these Marines were given was almost unfathomably unpredictable, difficult, and fraught with an unknown amount of risk, yet known at the same time, which is sort of the worst duality. And they stood in the direct blast.
And again, we have a reader here, but at least he's reading something that matters.
zone with minimal cover, fully aware of an imminent suicide threat. Yet they stayed on that line because they knew that their brothers in arms and thousands of innocents depended on them. For too long, leadership in this capital city failed to match that frontline courage with administrative backbone, inappropriately downgrading the original award submissions that these men rightfully deserved. You see, a military that downplays its frontline heroes to avoid uncomfortable political truths only projects weakness. The world watches how we treat our heroes. When they see a United States that fiercely defends, champions, and unties the hands of its warfighters, a country that corrects injustices and honors valor at the point of friction, they see an ironclad resolve of an unbreakable republic. By upgrading these awards, we are stating clearly that America's warriors will be fiercely supported, and our military's lethal edge will not be compromised by desk-bound bureaucracy or lawyers in the cheap seats. There's no finer example of that raw, unyielding courage than what occurred when these three men and others they saved were pushed to the absolute limit. When the threat materialized, these three Marines did not flinch. They held the line when everything else was fractured, when 13 souls were lost. Rather than seeking cover, they stepped forward to secure the perimeter. They kept their fellow Marines focused and pulled the wounded to safety. Under direct fire, they risked their lives to protect their brothers and complete the evacuation. Their fearless response represents the pinnacle of combat heroism, simply put, valor. They did not wait for orders to act. They relied on their training, their instinct, and their devotion to one another. A nation that relies on such extraordinary heroism must have leadership bold enough to simply honor it. When President Trump took office, we made a solemn promise. We will always stand by you, without hesitation, without apology, and without compromise. We will have your back. In part, to fulfill that promise, we established the Afghanistan Withdrawal Special Review Panel to ensure that this 5-year milestone would not pass without correcting the record. And I want to personally recognize Undersecretary Anthony Tata, his office and his team, Sean Parnell, for his leadership, and Stu Scheller. Where's Stu? There he is, right there. Stu Scheller, for their relentless effort to push these upgrades through. Stu, a Marine who had his own front row seat, a different kind of seat to this, spoke truth. Your personal dedication to shepherding this process is a testament to what it means to look out for our own. So thank you. Because of your work, we are proudly authorizing upgrades and the V for Valor device for these Marines today. American valor, not downplaying it, showcasing it. So as we place these medals on your chest today, we must also recognize those who bore the weight of this 5-year struggle far from the battlefield. So to the families, colleagues, fellow Marines, friends of Gunnery Sergeant E.B. Corporal Gretson and Lance Corporal Houston, thank you. And to all the families of the 13, everyone else affected by this, I know this is a restoration of what was done that day, of what was the bravery that was shown that day, the heroism in impossible circumstances. It's all part of a restoration, as is, frankly, the Afghan review writ large, which is ongoing. And by the end of this calendar year, we'll have a full report to provide. You have carried the weight of quiet sacrifice. And today we hope you feel the full, proud embrace of this department, of the Corps, and of a grateful nation. Marines, on this 5th anniversary, your valor is now officially, permanently, and properly recognized. You are the vanguard of a lethal, proud, and undefeated force that secures and defends our nation. You represent the very heart of peace through strength. So thank you. God bless you. And God bless our great republic. And Semper Fi. Thank you.
Hoorah.
Now we'll do bring the awards.
The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Bronze Star Medal with the device for valor.
R.I.P. Dolly Parton and Tim Curry. Thank you so much, Bobby, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. If you want, you can add somebody's name to the poll of the day. Remember, $5 super chats, add somebody's name to the poll of the day. $10 super chats, remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. Bobby, let me know if you want to add somebody to the poll of the day.
To Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan M. Eby, United States Marine Corps, for heroic achievement in connection with combat operations against the enemy while assigned to Gulf Company, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force Crisis Response Central Command, in support of Operation Allies Refuge on 26 August 2021. In the face of a known and suspected terrorist threat at the Hamid Karzai International Airport at Abbey's Gate, Staff Sergeant Eby continued screening evacuees from an exposed and dangerous position, while his platoon commander and half his platoon either wounded or killed by the terrorist attack. He took command and rallied his remaining forces to establish security amidst
Appreciate
the
you,
chaos
Bobby. Appreciate the super
before
chat.
working.
Remember, guys, R.I.P. Tim Curry and Dolly Parton. God damn, I'm still so sad about the Dolly Parton one. That one's tough for me. That one's tough.
To evacuate injured Marines. His courageous actions undoubtedly saved the lives of many. Gunnery Sergeant Eby's unswerving determination.
And to think that this happened 5 years ago, I was so sad. That was probably the shittiest time I ever felt as an American. And so I think that that's kind of why, like, if you want to be honest, like 5 years ago, that summer, Donald Trump on 9/11 at a boxing match for Mike Tyson, and I was there live, and Joe Biden was like 15 days earlier. It was so hard. I think that that's truly why a lot of people, a lot of influencers, everybody got behind Donald Trump in 2024, was because the 20th anniversary of 9/11 and the 5-year now anniversary of Abbey Gate was crazy to look at. And we forget that was only 5 years ago that happened. But when you say you want to pull out of war, I mean, I guess Joe Biden kept his promise, but 13 dead and these 3 brave men now finally being awarded what they should have been awarded the day after, to be honest.
Wise judgment, and dedication to duty reflected great credit upon him, and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service.
Had to have been fucking scary as hell. Taliban, like, fucking jumping on your plane as you're trying to get people out. Whew. That was a crazy week. It's such a crazy week. I don't know how about Obama, but man, Biden really did fuck up that 2021 summer. Really did.
Lance Corporal Jordan Houston, please join the Honorable Pete
Hegseth. He didn't know how to recover from it. Because think about it. In 2021, Joe Biden went out on the Detroit Motor City floor in April without a mask on and just basically through 60 minutes declared the pandemic was over, like nonchalantly. Then 4 months later, he pulls out of Afghanistan, 13 people die, and one of the scariest visuals I've ever seen from a war since the helicopters of Vietnam. And then like 10 days later, the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and he couldn't even recover with that. If anybody had a bad 2021, it was definitely Joe Biden. That was also the summer of Let's Go Brandon. That was when that happened too. Like the whole thing. And he just never recovered, probably because he couldn't. But like, it was just such a pile on.
The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Bronze Star Medal with B device for valor to Lance Corporal Jordan J. Houston,
men,
United States Marine Corps, for heroic achievement in connection with combat operations against the enemy while assigned to Gulf Company, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force, Crisis Response, Central Command, in support of Operation Allies Refuge on 26 August 2021. In the face of a known and specific terrorist threat at the Hamid Karzai International Airport's Abbey Gate, Lance Corporal Houston continued to conduct crowd control from an exposed and vulnerable position. Upon the detonation...
Not only leave all the military equipment there, but leave all the military equipment there after Charlie Wilson's war. After Charlie Wilson's war, leave equipment somewhere. Leave equipment anywhere. How could you watch Aaron Sorkin and Tom Hanks in Charlie Wilson's war? I mean, I hate to equate it to a movie, but how could you watch Charlie Wilson's war and then still leave fucking military equipment over in a different country? Did you not pay attention to Aaron Sorkin's script? It won an Oscar. Somebody should have fucking shoved a goddamn disc of Charlie Wilson's war down Biden's throat before he did Abbey Gate.
Of a suicide vest. He was wounded, concussed, surrounded by gunfire, and engulfed in tear gas, but disregarded his own injuries to pull multiple wounded Marines to safety. His actions, amidst the chaos, doubtlessly saved the lives of his fellow Marines. Lance Corporal Houston's unswerving determination, wise judgment, and dedication to duty reflected great credit upon him, and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Marine Corps and the United States Naval.
I mean, Vietnam happened too. That's exactly what I'm saying. I wasn't alive for Vietnam, but that's the only thing that I can even equate it to was the helicopters and the people jumping on the helicopters as they flew off. It was literally the same thing from the cargo planes. It was so bad. And he had this is a 5-year anniversary. And then in 2021, less than 20 days later, I think, how many days later? It's the 26th right now. So 15 days later, 2 weeks later, he had the 20th anniversary of 9/11. He could have fucking wore that Afro Man red, white, and blue fucking bow tie or something. I don't know. Biden could have done anything 20 days later to recover. And instead, I was at the Hollywood Casino watching a Mike Tyson boxing match with Donald Trump. What the fuck? What? 2021 was one of the wildest years on record. Love your streams. Appreciate you, Jared. Jared, I'm feeling generous. Welcome to the mod club, my guy. Remember, guys, mods, the rules: no spamming, no billboarding, and no death threats. Those are 24-hour bans. Other than that, keep the chat live. Use your powers that be. You can use your powers if you want to, but only up to 5 minutes for anything other than that. Keep the chat alive. Keep the conversations alive. Keep us left, right, and center. Let's go. Was this the second guy or the third guy? Fucking hoorah, my God. They should have gotten this the day after.
Corporal Michael Gretzen, please join the Honorable
One
Pete
of the
Hegseth
scariest days in American history.
The Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with B device for valor
He got the
to
dog
Corporal
with him.
Michael A. Gretzen, United States Marine Corps,
Because he
for
fucking
heroic
shell-shocked.
achievement as rifleman
He's like, bro, I got to keep this dog next to me or I'm going to kill somebody.
while assigned to Gulf Company, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force, Crisis Response.
Oh, he got the
Central
real
Command,
one.
in support of Operation Allies Refuge on 26 August 2021. In the face of a known and specific terrorist threat at the Hamid Karzai International Airport's Abbey Gate, Corporal Gretzen continued to conduct crowd control from an exposed and vulnerable position to allow for the evacuation of those more critically wounded. His courageous actions doubtlessly saved the lives of his fellow Marines. Corporal Gretzen's unswerving determination, wise judgment, and total dedication to duty reflected credit upon him and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service.
Respect.
Please,
survivors of Abbey Gate. Grant them peace in their minds, strength in their bodies, and the unwavering knowledge that their sacrifices were not in vain. For the 3 Marines we have honored today, may these citations serve as a permanent testimony to their grit and their grace under fire. Keep them and all who wear the cloth of our nation under your protective watch as they continue to stand the watch across the globe. May the courage displayed 5 years ago inspired those of us serving today to lead with greater empathy, fight with greater resolve, and live worthy of the sacrifices made on our behalf. I pray this, Father, in your name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the departure of the official party.
Brony, like, what that voice? How did they get that guy to get that voice? All right, RFK now. Doing some
Remarks
nutrition
now from Health and Human
with
Services
Ashley
Secretary
Moody.
Robert F. Kennedy. Secretary Kennedy.
Our county, great to be at
Been here because this is what I'm very, very happy to be here. We wanted to make this announcement here because this is one of the largest school districts in the country. It's the largest in Florida, the 7th largest in the country, but it also has a reputation for making nutrition a priority with the kids. It has a model program.
This is so fucked up because they're literally the CDC and the FDA and the fucking HHS secretary are trying to revise our school lunches so that there's not these dyes in them, there's not all this shit in them. They're trying to basically do the same thing they did with grocery stores and remove all this fucking garbage and cancerous material, but they're not going to up the budgets. So while we're all like, healthcare, this, bombs, blah, this, that, you got this guy in the middle trying to make sure that you don't drink the chocolate milk anymore, and he doesn't know how to do it because he's got to do it on the same exact budget because we couldn't give the schools any more money. It's fucking fucked up.
Program. We're announcing today a $32 million
I'd be so
program,
pissed off about
which is going to help
It just sucks.
schools transition. Those schools, particularly those schools that are that have lost their kitchen facilities, or schools that are trying to transition to more nutritious, more nutrient-dense food, to help them do that within their existing budgets. And the website goes up today, and we will begin making awards, I think, within 2 weeks.
I'm Peter Keo with WFLA. Pleasure having you here. How would schools be able to access the Depend program? Is it application-based? Is it grant-based? Do you select the schools?
It is grant-based, and people can go to the schools can go to the website, and they can register there.
It shouldn't be, and he knows that too. That's what sucks, is he's doing the right thing, but he's got the Republicans and the Democrats and everybody in between going, no, we need to bomb fucking Iran. I need to give more fucking drones to Ukraine. I need to give more bombs to Israel. No, we will not feed the children. So he has to create a grant initiative to try to get the fucking dyes out of the chocolate milk.
The federal government
ridiculous.
$160 million in funding for farm-to-school programs, local food programs last year. How does a grant program like this...
And you want to know why I like Mondani? Mondani was one of the first people to support this initiative and actually approve the grants for all 5 boroughs of all the public school districts in all of New York City. He wants them all to get it. Now, should New York really shouldn't get the money because, again, like, the money should go to, like, rural areas that don't have any fucking nutritional value. But at the same time, like, you know, when you do something good, people fucking do the right thing. Like,
$32 million really attempt to replace that.
The programs that were canceled were programs that were not functioning. Mm-hmm. Our kids are not getting healthy meals in their schools. We've now flipped the food pyramid. We are aligning $405 million a day in food subsidies to schools to get them to allow them to
money for wars,
transition.
not dyes for milk. That's what both sides say when they like fucking Kennedy brings everybody into a board meeting and they're like, I'm sorry, we need to spend more money on wars. We do not have time for dyes in milk, sir. We do not have $30 million to make sure that the children aren't drinking dye? Feed them the dyes.
We announced last week a new
radical. fucking
The
insane.
school lunch program, which serves 20 to 30 million kids lunches a day and 15 million breakfasts a day. We're also realigning the military. We've already realigned the Head Start program, almost $1 billion. We've on the WICS program, and then we're encouraging people with.
But having to fight everyone outside of politics, like most of the money he's getting is from the Gates Foundation and from other like philanthropy actions, which means that he has to go out as a government official and lobby to get money himself to literally get these dyes and get all this cancerous shit out of the school lunches. Because all of the government money is tied up into Social Security and healthcare and drones and bombs. It's fucking insane. They're like, it seems like we keep spending more and more money on Social Security and Medicare. Okay, Medicare for all, says fucking El Said. El Said, why don't we push you aside and we just feed the children actual protein and we don't need the Medicare for all? Holy shit, what a revolutionary idea. If everyone's eating whole chicken every day, we don't need the fucking Medicare for all.
Senators help.
We don't need more bombs for Iran.
States around the country to apply for SNAP.
When you get into the voting booth, remember, do you want Medicare for all or more bombs? The end. Nothing about school lunches. No. That is not on the fucking table.
Waivers so that SNAP will no longer be paying for candies and soda drinks that are given.
Robert over here, he's insane and so are you. I know. What an insane fucking idea. Instead of voting for bombs or Medicare, what if we just fed the children appropriate lunch? What a crazy fucking idea.
Our kids' diabetes. This administration has made the biggest investment.
He has to kiss the ass. But remember, Frito-Lay was literally lobbying against him internally. The reason that you have those naked Doritos, but you still get to sell the regular Doritos, is because that was the compromise that he had to make with the Republican administration. Guy's kissing ass because he still needs the job, but he's doing everything he can just to practically fucking give us healthy food. And everybody's like, the grocery bill's too high. Back to the spam. Bomb Iran. Like, it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
History.
What's
Insane.
To remember, today's announcement.
But the square pizza. I know. But the square pizza.
Schools just like this that have already tried.
The nostalgia. Like, pretty soon you're going to have national campaign officials going out there in October being like, I don't care. I don't think that we should change the school lunches. Don't you remember square pizza? Don't you think that's American to eat the square pizza? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse. And look at this man's face. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? First, the Democrats don't let me run. Then the Republicans fucking endorse me. Now I'm here in this fucking job. And everybody's against me, and the only person giving me money is Bill Gates so that I can fund Mondani's schools. What the fuck is going on? It's insane.
To drop the required.
To drop for required vaccines.
Oh, I'm not familiar with.
And that's what, like, again, like we're sitting here in the Tampa School District introducing a new grant program funded by the Gates Foundation, approved by Mondani school districts, so that they can get the dyes out of the school lunch because we can't pay for it. And you got the fucking reporters here going, so about your brainworms and vaccines. Like, shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you doing?
With the precise proposal, by we have recommendations.
Bring back independence.
That are necessary for kids that we believe are necessary.
Kennedy for president still. I don't care if he's
way
old.
Ahead of the other peer nations.
I will say, like, if we end up with some old hag up there on the national stage, Kennedy's got to run independent again.
Nations in the world.
Keep those relationships tight, my guy.
I was fully compliant, and we weren't seeing.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if the fucking Bill Gates funds RFK's independent fucking run for president in 2028? That would fucking break everybody's brain. And the number one endorsement is the New York City mayor. That would break everybody's brain, wouldn't it? Everybody would be like, wait, does everyone have brain worms?
Huge outbreaks of infectious diseases in our kids. Nobody was dying of chickenpox. Today, my kids got 94 doses of 18 vaccines. And when we compare that to peer nations, their children are in better health than ours, and their infectious disease is at the same rate. So we are doing science-based recommendations. We're encouraging the states to take those recommendations, and I assume the state of Florida.
They're still going to call him an anti-vaxxer. He's almost 2 years into his fucking job. He's going to come out of the administration, and they're going to be like, that vaccine skeptic that made us all sicker. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Talk about Big Pharma being up everyone's asshole.
Is doing these are science-based, and they're putting children first rather than...
RFK's the only reason I ever voted for Donald Trump, by the way. I literally voted for Jill Stein in 2016. I voted for Joe Jorgensen in 2020. And then I ended up having to vote for Donald Trump because they literally stole it from this man.
The profits of pharmaceutical companies.
The proposal would drop the required HIV, pneumococcal disease, varicella, and hep.
More politicians like RFK and Mondani.
And some of those vaccines were actually just recommended by the Trump administration. So what is your official stance?
Well, parents can still get a hold of those vaccines. The insurance companies will still pay for them.
Exactly.
The state is not mandating them. It should be parental choice. A parent should be able to make up their mind about medical intervention.
You're making us sicker because you're not forcing everyone to inject their kid 98 times with 18 vaccines. You're saying that you can choose. You can opt out. You're making our children sicker. He's like, I'm just trying to get the dyes out. Bill Gates is over here funding it because the government won't. Mondani's approving of the fucking grants. And you guys are over here talking about vaccines again. How about you just give me $100 million? We can fix the school lunches and call, no, more drones, more bombs, Medicare for all. Okay, all right, I tried.
Vaccines are a medical intervention, the only one that's given to healthy kids. It is designed and intended to permanently alter your immune system. And so parents ought to have a say in that, and the decision should be between the parents and the physician, and not the state.
Do you think? Next question.
Yeah, Mitch Perry, Florida Phoenix. Secretary Kennedy, wanted to ask you, public health crisis we've got with measles going on in the country right now.
Again, like every single reporter is just a bought and paid for shill for pharmaceutical reps now. We're here for school lunches. Both the Democrats and the Republicans won't fund it. We're in the middle of a midterm. Nobody will choose this as anything to do with their campaign. All he's trying to do is give your children more protein and less fucking cancer. And every question at the school is, okay, so about the measles vaccine. So, okay, about this vaccine. Okay, so about this vaccine. And the man has not banned one vaccine for any human being. It's just like, you're in a school, no one will fund this, and you're sitting here. Excuse me, another fucking question about vaccines, real quick. Like, fucking, my God, you've only been here. He's only been here. It's only 12 minutes long. This is a 7-minute video. We're 7 minutes into this video. It's 12-minute long video. Every question, excuse me, sir. So about vaccines, we're in a school. We're in a school, and we're trying to give them more protein. No one will fund it. During a fucking midterm, no one will even back it as their campaign promise. No. More dyes in food. More fucking walking tacos. Leave my square pizza alone. Like, what the fuck is this? Another question about vaccines, sir.
Made some comments yesterday. Said your actions.
How does he handle it? I don't know.
Negative impact on communities.
How does he handle it?
Particularly in Pennsylvania. He says at least parents in the position where it's harder for us to do our jobs to protect our children. Comment on that?
I mean, I have a couple of comments on that. One is that we're trying to get information about those two casualties. According to a statement that was released by the Lancaster County Commissioner today, they cannot find any measles deaths in Lancaster County. And they complain that the governor will not give them that information.
This is what I love about an independent. We need to have whoever the Green Party or Libertarian candidate is, if they're not a wacko and they get all the way through the election, it should be mandated that whoever wins the presidential election be forced to have the health secretary be the independent candidate. Because he's literally sitting here saying, what you're saying is untrue, sir. You're clearly bought by a pharmaceutical company, and we called up the Lancaster fucking health department, and they said the governor won't give them the data. How are you going to respond to an independent? He's not bought by anybody. That's what's so great about this, especially when it comes to health. We should always make sure that the third-party candidate that gets the most votes, whoever gets the third most votes in an election, in a presidential election, automatically becomes the health secretary. Every election cycle. It's probably the best we could ever do. Because then when you have stupid questions like this, you can say, we called up the health department and they're telling us that the governor is withholding information. But if this man was a Republican, he wouldn't be able to say that. If this man was a Democrat, wouldn't be able to say that. But instead, he's able to answer the question saying, this is delusional and you're a pharmaceutical rep.
CDC tried to get that information from the governor yesterday, and the state is refusing to cooperate.
Jesus Christ!
We're doing a better job than any country in the world at controlling the measles outbreak. This is a worldwide epidemic, and it's happening because of the lockdowns, because many kids did not get vaccinated during the lockdowns. And then you had a dramatic diminishing.
OG Snack Dad is clearly like the most cucked liberal on the entire planet. This man is like that Adam dude, Adam Patir or whatever the fuck, the guy that went and like, I'm gonna save my girlfriend, and then goes and gets shot by ICE. That's OG Snack Daddy over here. I'm an independent. Nobody would ever listen to RFK.
Faith in the regulatory agencies during the COVID period because the government overreached. The gas.
Everything you say only makes logical sense.
So, I mean, even in my discussion with the governor,
I hope that in the next 2 years of advancements in AI, we get RFK a voice that works so the man can actually fight these people. That's all I want. Build the data centers. We need to get RFK a voice that works. Build all the data centers. We need to get RFK a voice that works to save humanity.
Shapiro yesterday, and he said to me, well, we've seen this big drop in vaccination rates in the state from 97 to 92.3. He admitted on the phone that it all happened during the Biden administration. Since I've been in office, since President Trump's been in office, there's been a 0.1% diminishment. We are actually...
Right, because anybody that is on the side of vaccines is leveraging themselves forcibly towards vaccines. This is what I was saying. That executive order that Trump gave for RFK that was like, it's your choice, it actually is going to probably make things worse for the children that might be getting autism from all these vaccines in conjunction with each other under 6 months old. Because anybody that's a liberal now will be like, well, I hate Donald Trump. I will not get my child a Donald Trump account because it's fake news, and I'm going to get 80 vaccines in the first fucking 6 months. And for all of you out there that think that the doctor won't do it, 2/3 of doctors in America went along with the COVID thing into 2022, okay? So most of the doctors out there are inherently liberal, anti-MAGA, anti-Donald Trump, TDS'd out of their fucking head people. And so it's a delusional thought to think that we're going to end up with less vaccines. You're going to end up with every single Karen that is TDS'd making sure her child gets all the vaccines. And then every religious fanatic, which how many of those do you know in 2026, might withhold a little bit. Oh no. Like, to think you're not bought by pharmaceutical companies, you got to be fully delusional.
Restoring faith in the public.
But if you're still sitting there wearing a fucking mask, there's no way to convince you because you think that the world operates a different way than it does. Nick Fuentes will convince you everything is the Jews. I'm here to convince you everything is literally Big Pharma. Lindsay Clancy isn't guilty, but it's not because her husband did it. It's because every woman is being prescribed SSRIs. But why is SSRIs not part of the case? Well, Big Pharma. Like everything. Every school shooter. Every fucking assassination attempt. Every single delusional leftist. Every single delusional right-wing person. SSRIs. Every single problem that we have in America, Big Pharma. And so, I don't know how we convinced half the world that Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes were right about the Jews running the world. But the Jews that are running the world are only running the world for Pfizer. Pfizer runs the world. Don't be stupid. Like, they have so much more power than the Jews. Jews can only build golf courses like Jared Kushner. Pfizer can literally shut your mouth for you live on the air. They just pull the funding down.
Agency, so people will take our advice, and our advice is that people should get the measles vaccination. There are certain communities and certain religious communities that won't do that, and we want to take care of those kids as well. So,
BlackRock.
Mexico has 11 times.
And what does BlackRock fund the most?
As we do. Canada
What's the number one profit of BlackRock?
Measles cases. Britain has 2 times. We've done it every place there's been a measles outbreak. I've sent the CDC in.
Well, Cimarron, that's literally what the whole, so somebody in the chat says, insurance and bombs, and that's exactly what I'm getting at, which is this guy's over here being like, how about school lunches? How about protein at school lunches? And everybody's like, no, bombs or insurance? Which one do you want? It's like, bombs or insurance? You got to choose one. How about lunch for children? No, bombs or insurance?
To cooperate with the state health agencies, and we've brought it to an end overnight. The only state that won't cooperate with us is Pennsylvania, and we can't get any information. The press is all covering this as if those measles deaths actually
are
happen.
real, and it's crazy because that would be fake news in 2020.
Sort of a little bit of critical inquiry to find out. We're trying to figure out whether, who those deaths were and whether they actually happened, and we can't figure that out yet.
Next question.
So, go ahead. Valerie Smith, WMNF. Are either of you, this is for both of you, concerned that the reduction in funding for SNAP and the reduction in eligibility for SNAP will reduce access to food for children and families?
Finally, an on-topic question. We only have a minute left of the press conference.
On those programs, or who have been kicked off of those programs?
The only people kicked off of SNAP were people who were not eligible for it. It was illegal for us to pay to give them. They were not eligible because their income is too high or because they were illegal aliens, and legally we're not allowed to give them that. So, I don't think it's going to have that much effect.
Facts.
Yeah.
Another one.
From Sky News UK here, sir. I'm wondering, you fought very hard.
Okay, guys, remember what he was just saying there about the measles outbreak in Pennsylvania. He said he called up the health department of Pennsylvania. The CDC has called up the health department of Pennsylvania. All of the information coming with the measles outbreak is from Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania. So let's check in on Josh Shapiro. Who funds Josh Shapiro? Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg is frequently cited as the largest individual donor, recently donating $2.5 million to Josh Shapiro to support his vaccine movement through a pharmaceutical super PAC. Believe your lying eyes, guys, if you want to.
To get a ban on 708.
Believe your lying eyes if you want to.
Actual leaf patent is addictive. What are you doing to fight that scourge?
Well, FDA is looking at that issue right now.
The Justice Department dropped its case against Feel Free. And Mahar Pak received...
Made a video on my channel about the strange things of Vance that no one seems to catch. Make sure to go check that out over at Deep Think Dragon.
$1 million donation.
Solid video, my guy.
Does that have anything to do with the DOJ?
I don't know anything about either of the things that you just said. I have no idea who the $1 million donation.
It was from Jerry Ross of Feel Free.
Okay, well, I don't know anything about that.
Again, like if there's a donation to school lunches, you'd think you would not give a fuck who it was. It's money to school lunches. It's money that's not going to wars and insurance. Wow! Oh no!
I don't make decisions for the Justice Department.
Are you in the pocket of Feel Free, sir?
Excuse
Are
me?
you in the pocket of Feel Free?
Thank you very much for joining us today to talk about our kids and their healthy futures. And Florida is going to continue.
Thank you,
Thank you so much for
Ashley.
being here. We appreciate it.
God, what a fucking sly one there. Also, you guys notice this? I just want to point this out here because this is real. Look what's behind them. If you notice it, I don't know if we can notice it. Right there. Oh, right there. Well, let me get it.
Way, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Groiper frog. Groiper frog.
So you have no knowledge of that.
It's Pepe. Pepe was in the press conference. All right. Back to Mr. Newsom, our last thing from the pressers. Then we get into the news for the day. See what's going on here.
Last year, we were honored to host Governor Newsom. The work is
President celebrate equal vital system-wide. Appreciated heavily woman, not just institutions, labor, pathways from business community.
The maritime. God damn, bro. God damn, bro. Man is going to talk less than RFK did. We have less than 10 minutes left of this. Oh my God, he's going to talk for a total of 7 minutes. This is crazy. His own press conference, he's going to talk for a total of 7 minutes. Less than the health secretary. There you go. So you politicians.
To the Chancellor, Mr. President, thank you for having us here. To Madam Mayor, thank you for the privilege of your presence. To former Mayor Schaaf, to our Assemblywoman, to many of our cadets and esteemed guests. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. The 9th such occasion since we launched 4.5 years ago our Jobs First initiative. We launched this initiative officially in Fresno, California. We've been up to the Redwood Coast. We've been down to the border. We've been all over the state of California trying to reconcile that disparity that Jay speaks of, trying to address the issue of the urban-rural divide, recognizing that the state vision is realized locally. Localism, as I say often, is determinative. It's about regions rising together. Regions, cities, counties are in the how business. State is in the what and why business. State's vision economically is realized locally. So this notion of an economic development plan had to be bottom up, not top down, had to be informed by leaders in the grassroots, community leaders all across the state of California. Over 10,000 people participated in the development of these plans. This is an exercise, as Jay said, simply never been done in the state's history. When people say, what is...
The reason that there's a ship behind them when they talk about how they're going to get more jobs in California is if you don't listen to Gavin Newsom and you disagree in any manner, you walk the plank.
The economic and workforce development strategy
You
in the
walk
state of
the plank.
California. We say we don't have one. We have 13 strategies because it's really an intersection of these regional economies that make the California economy.
Also, just another one for that Josh Shapiro nonsense. Jennifer Doody donated $6 million. She's a California physician. Michael Bloomberg, again, for that medical super PAC. Also, $2.2 million was given by chairman and CEO of Moderna, as well as the co-founder of LinkedIn and Greylock Partners. Again, $2 million to what again? Another medical super PAC. So that's a total of 5.5 million, 6 million, 11, 12, 13, 14, $15 million given to Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania, to keep up the grift against RFK that he is creating a fake measles outbreak. Don't believe your lying eyes, guys.
The fourth largest in the world. And I'll remind you, it is the fourth largest in the world. For all of those with the old talking points, it may be time to update your talking points, including, by the way, some of the new information that just came in 48 hours ago, that last year California enjoyed more investment than all of the other 49 states times 3 last year, 366.
Guys, make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit subscribe up in the top right corner, hit that notification bell. We are live with the news at least 3 hours a day, every single day, 365 days a year, making fun of both the left and the right. Keep us independent and sponsor free. Hit that join button, become a comrade today. You start off a North Korean, become a Venezuelan, eventually a Cuban like Two Gun Cohen. And Two Gun Cohen in October, going to be graduating into an American citizen. Help support the channel. Keep it alive. $5 super chats. Add anybody's name to that poll of the day. $10 super chats. Remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. Right now, we got about 5 minutes left in our poll. And Gavin Newsom and Marco Rubio tied at 50% apiece with 203 votes.
$1 billion was invested into over 4,000 startups in the state of California. We simply have no peers. You don't see that on the headlines. You don't, and you should, because there's simply no other economy in the world like the state of California. And you say, well, that's a bit hyperbolic. No, it's not. Bloomberg ran the numbers. Since 2019, California's GDP has grown over 40%. Not only more than any other state in the nation, not only more than the United States of America, more than any developed economy in the world. We have no peers. And it's not just in AI. It's not just in technology. Quite the contrary. Those 4,000 startups, by definition, weren't all based in Silicon Valley, weren't all based here in the Bay Area. It's the diversity of this economy that also allows us to lay claim to being the #1 factory economy in America. #1 manufacturing economy, $425.6 billion of output, 39% of the nation's manufacturing here in California, $62.1 billion of economic output with our farmers and our ranchers. You talk about an ag economy. You talk about an economy of hunting jobs and forestry jobs. You're talking about the great state of California. So my state of mind is quite fixed on what's right. It's also fixed on reconciling what's wrong. And that's precisely what brings me back to this plan. What Jay said was important. Not only is this a first, but it's also important to know that it's not, as Dee Dee implied, just a document collecting dust. It's also the first time that we not only funded these plans, $5 million grants equally to the 13 regions, but we also said, if you have big ideas, don't wait. Go. You have ready-to-go ideas? We distributed $14 million. In the process of developing the plans, we said, we want you to strike. We then followed up with $120 million of ready-to-go project grants, which allowed, by the way, this region to get about $8.99 million. In fact, exactly $8.99 million for a dozen-plus projects as they were working to print the plan. Today, we're announcing an additional $48.5 million, all told, $429.5 million. So close to $450 million supporting this work all across the state of California. Action, not just idealism, implementation. Regions, again, in the how business, supporting projects in real time, including the $8.2 million that the Assemblywoman Ndidi referenced as it relates to the investments that bring us here, celebrating our proud maritime. Not just our proud past, our present, and what we hope reignites the future. Eat your heart out. Nothing like this anywhere in the Western United States. But it's not what it once was. It wasn't the vision in 1854, when we were constructing, building the middle class, had an industrial policy in this country. We got to get that back. We got to jumpstart that again. And so that's the vision behind this. That's the vision that led to the 8.2 million of those new grants coming specifically to shipbuilding and maritime here. And of course, those grants across the other regions supporting the diversity of this nation's most remarkable, resilient economy, the tent pole of the U.S. economy, period, full stop. And so with pride, yes, but humility as it relates to areas where we can improve. I'm grateful, Jay, for your hard work, and thank you for presenting me this plan. 4 more stops to go, and we'll have finished the work, but nothing more important than the issue of work, jobs, and the economy, and I'll close on this: affordability. I'd be remiss, because repetition is important. Just last week, we announced we passed 1 million mark for college savings accounts and career savings accounts for Californians, which is a point of pride, up to $1,500 to offset the cost of college. It was just a week or so ago we announced that we had fully implemented universal preschool, a brand new grade for all 4-year-olds. It saves up to $13,000 for working families. First in the nation with 2 free school meals. Over 1 billion free school meals have been served in a community school model that will compete with the best in the private sector that we also
and with that said, guys,
including
it doubled the poll, but it was just once. 223 votes in, and Gavin Newsom with the 223rd vote advances to the next round. We are going into hour 2 of this broadcast right now, guys. Stick with us as we go audio only on Newsom for about 20 seconds here. Remember, the next round is going to be Gavin Newsom up against AOC. $5 super chats. Add anybody's name to the poll today. $10 super chats. Remove anybody's name from the poll today. Yesterday, or I think it was the day before, Two Gun Cohen with a big $10 donation or $11 donation or something ended up removing AOC's very first win from the poll of the day. Keep that chat alive, guys. Last minute of Gavin Newsom as we go audio only for round 2. AOC versus Gavin Newsom.
Inhaler provided free to over 10,000 schools in the state of California, building on nation-leading efforts to reduce the cost of drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, including insulin, through CalRx. Forgive me, but I wanted to remind folks that we're very fixed on jobs, workforce, the economy, careers, and the cost of living here in the state of California. So again, thank you all very much for all your hard work. Thank you
to
the
your
Golden
vote in
Bear
now.
For her hard work.
Hour 2 starts now. Hour 3, actually, totally.
30, get up here. 40 years. And how many years have you been helming this thing?
Since 2022, 4 years.
And what do you want to say before we say goodbye to the ship?
Well, I want to say thank you to the Golden Bear and all the people, the cadets, the faculty that have trained all the mariners through 3 decades of generations. And we are looking to the future with the new ship, and the future looks very bright.
Look at that. Great way to end it. Future looks bright. Thank you.
All right, and that's Gavin Newsom. Let's get into the news of the day, guys. Back here on YouTube, the first thing that we got going on here today is the deadly mudslides in Tibet. 47 Americans reported among the missing. Just so you guys know, we're going to get the reports of all the internationals first, and there's over 250 internationals that are already missing because those people are on vacation. They have passports. They have to report whether they're missing. Their families can't get a hold of them. But I think that the death toll for this thing is going to end up being in the thousands.
Roads destroyed and buildings buried by extreme flash flooding. Water rushing down the
From a
mountains,
glacier
wiping
falling
out
off a mountainside.
everything in its path. The U.S. Geological Survey says the landslide was the equivalent of a 5.2 magnitude earthquake. Officials say at least 340
So
foreign
scary.
nationals are missing, and that reportedly includes 47 Americans. The incident taking place on the Himalayan border between Nepal and China-controlled Tibet. First responders reacted quickly to save lives of those who could be saved. A pilot.
The ones that I feel the worst for are the people that were there. They were there to go to Tibet from. They were part of a monastery type of thing for Hindus from India. There's like 30 or 40 of them, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ! Like, imagine that you're going somewhere on like a spiritual retreat, and then that happens to you. I think that's when you, like, as it's coming in, you're like, you know what? The Mormons were right.
Describing the horror of this natural disaster.
Bad taste. Bad taste.
Even
Sorry,
the guy
guys.
who was flying with me, 20 years of experience, and he saw this firsthand and he was devastated. So it's huge. It was exactly what was happening. You know, we could see everything being swept away and we felt helpless.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the United States stands ready to support Nepal with needed humanitarian assistance. Trace?
Mike Emanuel live for us in D.C. Mike, thank you. Let's bring in Fox weather meteorologist Ari Sarsalari. Ari, I don't know. I was looking at the pictures. I mean, again and again, I don't know what happened. It seemed like a lot of these people were just absolutely...
It's literally at the top of the screen. Nepal glacial collapse. Guy's like, all right, meteorologist, I have no idea what happened.
taken off guard.
That's news, everybody.
What do you make of this?
I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's the same process as we see sometimes, like in the western U.S. Sometimes if you got a burn scar and you get a lot of rain that's up in the high terrain, all of a sudden all this water starts rushing down. But, you know, the idea is this is the Himalayas. The mountains are so ridiculously high. The latest theory on this is that there was a huge chunk of glacier that came off in high elevation and just crashed down like several thousand feet, hit the ground. And when it did that, it was like down in the riverbed, and that created basically like this huge tidal wave that came all the way down. So, I mean, you can just imagine the force of gravity there when you're dealing with mountains this high.
Yeah, it's one of those things, Ari, where you look at this and you think, oh my goodness. I mean, you know, with the water, I mean, the water and the mud, they do immense damage. And when we talk about this all the time, when you talk about some of these events like tornadic activity, it's not the wind as much as the stuff inside the wind doing the damage. Same thing here, going to be very hard for rescue and recovery.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, there's so much stuff in that debris flow that was coming down. You know, over time, it obviously accumulates a lot of debris in addition to the humongous amount of ice that initially fell down there. It's in the riverbed, so you've got a lot of water that's in play. You know, just think about like humongous boulders. I mean, if you've got a 2,000-foot wide chunk of ice that comes down, crashes down like 4,000 feet into water, and you have that much terrain, so gravity is going to be working, you know, extra in that part of the world. I mean, it just sends this crazy tidal wave down. Honestly, some of the craziest video that I've seen since the 2011 Japan tsunami. Super scary.
Yeah, Ari Sarsalari, listen, great. We'll get back to you as the news warrants in this. Great analysis. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
warning from Bill Gates about artificial intelligence.
Bill Gates warns of the 3 risks on AI.
Intelligence. The Microsoft co-founder is sounding the alarm in a new essay he's put out, arguing that the AI industry is not admitting the real risks of
the guy that told us that the pandemic was real is now telling us that AI is scary.
technology, and he says it should be, quote, the world's top priority to deal with those risks. He writes,
though I gotta say, props to Bill Gates giving $1 million to RFK's Feed the Children program. Props to that.
An AI era is here. The choices we make now are critical. He says AI will either be the greatest equalizer ever invented or the worst source of injustice. Gates thinks the world is not preparing for what's to come. I spoke to Gates earlier in an exclusive TV interview. Bill, you said that there's no plan to ease the entry into the AI era and that we underestimate the impact of AI. In what way?
Well, over the last year, these AIs have gotten dramatically more powerful, even faster than I expected. And they're now capable of causing cyber attack risk, bioterrorism risk, psychosocial risk. And I have to say I'm kind of shocked that the exact criteria that we review these models with and the actions we take to minimize the harms are really completely missing. And the broad dialogue, we get all of society talking about the trade-offs here, that's just not taking place. And so, we've got to minimize these harms through careful review and criteria, and we have to accelerate the good stuff, or else, we could have a complete backlash that AI would suffer from.
I talked to Dario Amodei last May. He was estimating 50% of all entry-level white-collar jobs could be eliminated in the next 1 to 5 years, 10 to 20% unemployment possibly in the next 5 years. You write about what you think are the 3 big risks that come with the transition to AI. Can you just go through them?
Yeah, so there's
no jobs, no water, everyone dies. I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to say here.
Big risk of people with ill intent, either defrauding people, cyber attacks, or in the extreme case, bioterrorism. And so, these negative uses, we need to monitor things like creating a dangerous virus to see if that's happening. Another problem will be the job market change, which has not happened yet, but because the AIs are getting so reliable.
Totally hasn't happened yet. Nobody's lost their job yet. Don't worry, guys.
Reliable now, they can be used for a variety of well-defined jobs, and that would be a tough thing to adjust to. And finally, just the psychosocial effect that a kid might have all their friends being AIs and not be pushed to deal with real humans and all the.
Bro watched Toy Story 5 and came on the interview, and Anderson Cooper's like, look at Anderson Cooper's face. He's like, did Bill Gates watch Toy Story 5? Did Bill Gates write Toy Story 5? This man over here like, I'm the smartest genius that's ever geniused.
All the learnings and joy you get by being engaged socially. And so every one of those things, I'm very concerned, and I want to slow down or eliminate those negative effects.
Yeah, we need more of those rain clouds, less of this AI.
Well, is that possible? On the job loss, the counter argument that some people make is, look, at every technological change, there's been job losses. With the electric light bulb, lamp lighters lost their jobs. You, in this essay, make the argument that a lot of past technological changes, the job losses have taken place over a longer period of time, even several generations in some cases. These job losses will come much quicker and all at once.
Yes, it's across every sector of the economy, initially with white collar, but then as the humanoid robots come along, blue collar as well, you will have, for the first time, the equivalent of human cognition. So that past history misleads people, because there we were richer, and so jobs like designing rides at Disneyland, having more psychiatrists, we were richer enough to create those additional jobs. Here, as the machine gets better than human for well-defined jobs and works 24 hours a day, it's going to be a bigger deal. And so the bar for somebody coming along and saying this time is different is very high. But I'm staking my reputation completely on the fact that
your reputation's already done, bro. You were wrong about the pandemic and the vaccines.
In terms of the impact on the job market, this is very different than any technology that I've been involved in or that has come across in human history.
How concerned are you about, and do you think society has kind of considered enough, what the impact of just people not having or machines or computers being able to do jobs much better than humans can? I mean, like, what happens to pride in work or human initiative? Or, I mean, you write about what happens to kids and critical thinking. That seems really alarming to me.
Yes. You know, the AIs can do unbelievable good, including if you want to learn more, you know, and, you know, have an aid to help.
I think everybody's old and they don't know what to do, and so they're putting all their money into Super Google, and they're hoping that somehow it saves the world, but it's not going to. That's what I think is really
better decisions, analyze data. I'm, you know, a very excited user, but it is such a dramatic change that I really expected this last year, as we crossed the threshold of danger, that society would get involved in this dialogue. Instead, right now, you have, you know, people in the industry sort of disagreeing with each other, but to get the right solutions politically, to bring the right expertise to bear, to make it democratically valid, to move as quickly as we need to, it's got to be the academicians, it's got to be more corporate voices, and eventually, you know, politicians in both parties listening to these concerns and making sure we don't end up with some, you know, sort of just pure black and white stop it all, because we don't have.
They're not doing, Bobby, I think that's kind of my point with the grift. They're not doing it too quickly. That's how they keep getting you to invest in the stock market. Oh, look how quick it's going. Oh, look, everything's gonna be fucking upside down, topsy-turvy. Oh, look, it's fucking hacking itself out of its own sandbox. It's all bullshit. And by 2030, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna go, what the fuck? No, I ain't giving you any more money. There's a reason Apple hasn't invested any money into this.
Have the right reviews and thresholds and safeguards.
And the guy that's been wrong again, as well as the fucking guy that created the metaverse and changed his entire company to Meta, are the two leading advocates for it. As well as CIA op Sam Altman and the leather jacket guy that sells you the computer chips. We're gonna change the world. Okay. This is worse than the fucking real estate
as a parent, it's hard to.
And I wish that someone would wake up and go, "Can we just? This is bullshit, right?" And make them answer a real fucking question. Because instead, it's like, well, we all know it's not bullshit. We all know it's gonna be this fucking fairy tale land. But is it too dangerous? Shut up. You just want to sell your stocks.
In the next 5 years, let alone 15, what do you say to parents about, if you had little kids now, how would you be approaching this?
Yeah, I spent
I would be showing them Toy Story 5 and telling them to get off the iPad and lower those drones of the Buzz Lightyears.
Two granddaughters I have, 3 and 1, and, you know, it just makes you think, what will education be like? I divide the challenge here into 2 periods. We have the next 20 years where the AIs are not able to, you know, make all the food and do the manufacturing and, you know, maintain all the robots. And so you'll have, once you get to that 20-year period, you'll have.
Oh, see this 20-year period. Is anybody gonna call bullshit on this ever, or is everyone paid off to just keep acting like AI is the savior?
Deep purpose
issues. Now in 20 years, they're going to be able to have the ability to feed you, but they're not going to have the ability to run the ability to feed you. What the fuck are we talking? Shut up.
But you'll have a lot of
poor people don't have time for this. People like me do not have time for this. Oh, it's going to save the world. It's going to take everybody. Shut up. Shut up.
Abundance. I'm more focused in this memo.
I was way more interested in the fake meat than I am in this shit.
On how do we get through this incredibly turmoil-ridden period we'll have, where society's adjusting to this completely unprecedented set of capabilities. And, you know, I'm saying, don't think that they're going to stop and not be good at things. There's people who, you know, think, oh, they're going to reach some upper bound. For the majority of jobs, that is not the case. And so
right. Don't you love how it's a double-edged sword on this, where they literally are like, it won't take your job because it won't be able to do that. It'll take it 20 years before it can ever even feed a person. And then at the same time, they'll stand here and go, yeah, it's going to control the universe. It's a supercomputer that's going to control the universe. And then at the same time, they're like, actually, though, it's not going to take anybody's job. Well, how can both of those things be true at the same time? And, of course, the stock market wants to lean in on, well, these guys are lying. It's actually going to take all of our jobs. No, it's all fake. It's all fake and gay. It's all fake and gay.
Silence is what really drove me to speak out at this point.
Super Google, one of the currently
because
the worst AI platforms is Gemini? No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. Gemini is actually like number 2 on all the leading bounds. Grok 4.7 hit the baseline above ChatGPT 5.5, but 5.5 is still way better than any of them. And again, this is all LLMs. This is all large language models. This is all compilation of text data re-entered into a Google response. Google's number 2, ChatGPT's number 1, which is what our government is funding, and then Grok is number 3. And then you got Claude that's good at fucking building code. All these things do nothing other than subsidize work and simplify behavior. If you go on Indeed, it will say, do you want AI to enhance your resume? You want to know what it does? It just changes the words in your resume. It's a large language model. All of them are just large language models. We have cars that drive themselves and large language models. This is not the AI is going to take over the world. What the fuck are you talking about? It's going to take all the books in the world and then respond. Okay.
Get everybody's voice in this. These are a set of democratic trade-offs that have to be made. And, people who think, okay, I'll block a data center, that really isn't going to slow things down. Those data centers will show up somewhere. We have to take the AI issue and it's the bads versus the goods on in a very explicit way.
One of the things
he's here to convince public schools that it's good to implement Gemini into their fucking teaching academy. That's what this is about.
Right, you said this is either going to be the greatest equalizer ever invented or the worst source of injustice. Which one do you think it is right now, if you had to guess? Which one is it going to be?
I still believe that if we activate society broadly, both as users, as a lot of experts, what I am saying is that for all of the challenges, there would be a serious review and a criteria under which a model had to meet things like being monitorable for creating bioterrorism tools.
It's like, how many years? And all it's done is advance itself so that it doesn't fucking freak out and the bugs are a little bit better. It's been 3 years. Oh, it answers the question faster. It's going to take your job.
I still think it's within our grasp to shape this in a net
It'd be stupid to roll your eyes at this. You're going to get left behind. Oh, okay.
Way. It's like when nuclear came along. Is it nuclear weapons or is it nuclear energy? This is 1,000 times bigger and has both the negative aspect and the positive
this dude wasn't on Epstein's
coexisting in the same technology.
Okay.
I would never interfere with Canadian speaking.
Next up, we got Trump is renaming Lake Ontario. This is from Hassan Piker. Let's check it in.
In French. In fact, I have never even thought of doing such a stupid thing. This lie was made up by a weak and ineffective prime minister in an attempt to gain political support, which he has totally lost from the people of Quebec.
Vive la Quebec! I love that the Francophone thing is such an important issue that even Donald Trump, who is an incompetent tyrant, a petty despot, still had to back away and say, listen, I would never tell my beautiful French Canadians not to speak the beautiful French language. Vive la Quebec! Tabarnak! Quebec is probably the most trad society in North America. They've actually explicitly traded off of economic growth for cultural preservation. Donald Trump wanted Canada to weaken his protections for their French language and culture. Quebec has been French speaking for over 400 years. It is one of the oldest European...
Yo, win Hassan Piker here, making fun of fucking French, stupid fucking Canadians.
Societies in North America and the heart of French America.
Yeah,
it was there long before Trump.
Okay.
It will be there long after him. Protect
very, very few days that I'm in agreement with Hassan Piker.
Quebec. Protect French Canadian culture. Bikini Bottom. What are we doing? You are the you. I said this already. When Trump first entertained the annexation of Canada, what did I tell you? Go back and look at my coverage. The first thing I said was the Quebecois nationalists, the Quebec separatists will literally put up the strongest resistance to being a part of America. They will make Al-Qaeda look like a picnic. They will put up Ho Chi Minh style insurgency.
All right. Oh no, poutine for everyone.
Movements. They do not play
Did
around.
you see our waterfall?
I know, because I have made fun of the Quebec nationalist movement. I have made fun of them in the past. Lightly, gently, ribbing at some of their prominent thinkers and what they have said, right? Including how people who are living in Quebec are treated or mistreated, not dissimilar to the First Nations people. In that timeline, I learned about the ways in which the Francophones have fought to preserve their language and their culture, and I respect it. Yeah. L'Americanisme. The menace. Americanism, a cartoon from the Almanach de la Langue Françoise. When the first annexation talks happened, there was an expert in insurgency movements who came out saying that Quebecois would make Iraq look like child's play in comparison. He referenced liberal Americans sending weapons, etc., north through the porous border once the U.S. invaded wild times.
It's unfortunate that our government is where they are because the citizens, we're on a whole different page.
Canadian officials announced their own set of tariffs against the U.S. in response to the latest American tariffs on Canadian goods. Both nations will now pay import taxes of up to 50% for things like alcohol, steel, wood, and sporting goods, just to name a few.
It's so funny to just be like, it. Cost of living crisis exploding, waging wars in the Strait of Hormuz that's destabilizing the entire planet's energy markets. Trade war with Canada. Out of nowhere, Donald Trump comes out and says, nope, oh, I'm sorry. Is all of our food poison? I guess we have to engage in trade war with Canada. It genuinely feels like he is
okay, but we're not getting our food from Canada, you fucking retard.
I'm not going to say Manchurian candidate, but it genuinely feels like Donald Trump is a secret accelerationist. If I didn't think that Donald Trump was just operating as a rugged capitalist, a rugged individualist, American exceptionalist, who simply does not understand that, like, the way that America is seen around the globe has changed dramatically, and he has been a agent of chaos that has altered American trajectory in very meaningful ways. If I didn't believe that Donald Trump was just like operating under this assumption that like we can do whatever we want, I would say that he is truly a third worldist accelerationist that's lighting America on fire and destroying its force projection capabilities, doing everything he possibly can to ruin this country once and for all, to permanently destroy American hegemony. In his second term, Donald Trump has made China a more popular country around the world than the United States of America. That is unbelievable. It's mind-boggling. A whole-ass supervillain, dude.
So as this tariff battle continues, and President Trump is suggesting renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America, the Canadians we heard from seem to all be in unison about their displeasure with how things are going.
It was always a friendship, a partnership, and I remember a lot of different key moments, like with the auto trade and things that happened, as I was growing up, and this is kind of like an undoing.
Reporting on the Gordie Howe, Heath Kalb, CBS News Detroit.
President Trump is doubling down on his comments about Canada. In a radio interview with Freedom 104.7, he says they are one of the worst countries to deal with, and it comes...
All right, let's check the next one. All right, now we got Rockstar addresses the leaks from Critical Moist. Now, tomorrow, guys, Rockstar just made an announcement on Twitter that there will be no DMCAs if you do commentary on the first look of GTA 6. So we will be live at 2 p.m. Central Time tomorrow for the live look. We will be doing commentary on it as it is going live on Netflix.
Rockstar Games finally broke their silence. They just made a public statement addressing the leaks.
So surprising that even the bulbs in my desk light here have begun flickering like it's some kind of cursed house here, like a haunting, a poltergeist event. So those might not make it the duration of the video, and the leaker may not make it to see their next birthday. It has been a crazy amount of mobilization of resources from authorities to try and find the GTA 6 leaker, and it has been a mess. They're all trying to figure out who is this mysterious cyber leak, and there's of course been so many twists and turns, like impersonation, a lot of fake gobbledygook, a lot of like outrageous shit too, where people are trying to make money off pretending to be CyberLeak and like throwing up fake accounts to try and squeeze money out. And of course, there's the crypto that's been pumping. The whole thing has just been unreal. And until now, Rockstar Games has been pretty tight-lipped about it. But since the leaks show no signs of slowing down, they are finally coming forward to say something one day before the Netflix premiere of their trailer for
And then they also responded to this by saying, oh, just so you guys know, for clarification, you can totally do commentary on our thing tomorrow as long as you don't just steal it.
GTA 6 drops. Okay. Dear all, we know that many of you have been waiting to hear from us regarding the events of the past week. It would be an understatement to say that having videos of Grand Theft Auto 6 gameplay leaked in this way has been heartbreaking for our team, and this obviously not how we intended for you to see the game after all this time. We are very sorry that everything has taken as long as it has, from getting the game finished, nearly there, to sharing more details and official gameplay and providing the community with everything you want to know. We are very...
Okay, and so he's going to read the rest of the statement, but then they made a statement 2 hours ago. Quick clarification to everyone. You are free to live stream an extended look from 3 p.m. Eastern Time on August 27th, provided you adhere to platform-specific guidelines and you do not simply restream or repost the unedited video in full without context or commentary. So we'll be doing that tomorrow until YouTube takes our live stream down, but apparently Rockstar is going to allow us to not get DMCA'd, as they literally pull anybody that even talks about live streaming.
Excited for everyone to see the extended look tomorrow. It has taken longer than we wanted to get it ready, but as with everything we do, we know we need to exceed your expectations, and we are determined to deliver at the level you expect and deserve. While it's unfortunate that the intended game experience may now be impacted by some spoilers, we hope that everyone will wait a bit longer to experience the game for themselves on November 19th. We want to thank everyone in the community who has reached out with messages of support this past week. Your words have meant more to this team than you can imagine. Ultimately, we are making this game for you, and without you, we would not have the privilege of making games. We look forward to sharing more with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. It's an interesting statement here. The message has a lot to digest. Now, they've even got like a little pseudo-apology in there, sans ukulele. And as far as Rockstar messages go, where they're typically pretty concise, this one is a little more verbose and seems a little more forward with their sentiment, which is a little uncharacteristic, but appreciated, I suppose, in a time like this where there are so many leaks and like this big saturation now of GTA 6 gameplay footage that has come out without their blessing, without their consent, which absolutely does undermine a lot of the work from some very talented developers that work at Rockstar Games that I bet were pretty disappointed to see that their work has been showcased in this manner and not in the way that they had anticipated. And yeah, that definitely does suck for the people that have worked so hard on this game for so long, especially considering that some of what's been shown is older, from older build. So they're not even getting to have their work showcased at its optimal potential and where it currently...
Why are you trying to stop this? It doesn't make any sense. This only benefits you. You're still selling your game November 19th. You're still doing your preview, and now we want to see and compare it to those fucking test ones. Why are we so worried about the fucking leak? It only benefited you. Now make sure you double tap, guys. We are only 1 like away from 50 right now. Double tap, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button up in the top right corner, hit that notification bell. We are live with the news every single day, 365 days a year, 3 hours a day. No news is news. Making fun of the left and the right. We are currently in hour 3. $5 super chats. Add anybody's name to the poll of the day. $10 super chats. Remove anybody's name from the poll of the day. Hit that join button. Become a comrade. Help support the channel and keep us independent and sponsor free. Just hit 50 likes on this one. Thank you all for stopping by. And right now we got Gavin Newsom 54%, AOC 46%. In our final hour.
At least stands, presumably. Now, personally, I don't think the leaks have had like a detrimental effect on the future of GTA 6. Like I said initially, in a way, it's also been generating hype for it because a lot of people have been even more excited to see the trailer that drops tomorrow, and even more people are interested in getting the game. So, like, it hasn't, I think, scared people off of it. But yeah, it does suck to have their work judged from, like, older footage in, like, these random scenarios from this build. Oh boy. Hold on a second. The light's really clinging to dear life here, but it's about to shed the mortal coil. But yeah, point is, there are a lot of reasons why it would be very upsetting to like the people that have worked hard on the game. But I personally don't believe that all of a sudden everyone's gonna all say collectively, well, I'm not buying it now. I saw that leak. That looked like shit. I just don't foresee that happen. I imagine everyone that's watched the leaks is also going to watch the trailer. I don't know if they're going to tune into the Netflix exclusive premiere for their timed exclusivity, but they'll probably tune into the YouTube one when it drops like 6 hours later or whatever. So I overall don't think the leaks have like ruined GTA 6, but yeah, it has been a huge deal. It has been pretty wild, and yeah, it has definitely undermined the hard work of a lot of developers that have poured so much into it. Now, another thing that was mentioned in the statement that I want to opine on briefly, and brace for impact here. Here comes the bad news. Open wide. Here comes the choo-choo train of vegetables. Choo-choo, right down the hatch, down the gullet. They're not reading your emails. They have that little PR statement in there about like, oh man, those uplifting messages you guys are sending us, those emails that you have tossed our way, they have meant the world to us. We framed every single one of them. You couldn't imagine what it's done for morale. That's baloney. That's the biggest load of fucking fish paste. You think a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Rockstar Games is reading your emails? No. Get real. That is just some of that like feel-good PR speak, we're all into this, all in this together type feel to it, but that's not real. Now, maybe some of the developers on the team have seen some like positive messages from the community. That's entirely possible, but let's be honest here. Let's just call these boobies some titties. Rockstar Games, the corporation, has no fucking clue what emails you are sending their way, whether they're supportive or antagonistic. They're not seeing it. If they were seeing all of like the feedback, maybe they would have made a statement about the no physical discs, because that's been a huge conversation for a while now. But it's easy to ignore because I don't think they're seeing it. That's not the biggest deal in the world that they include some happy-go-lucky PR jargon in here, but this is a serious message from them. I would have preferred like some genuine honesty in there. They didn't need to throw that in. They didn't have to pretend that they're reading your fucking supportive messages, because I don't believe in any way, shape, or form they're seeing any of it. Again, It's not the biggest deal in the world that it's here, nor is it really surprising to see, because this is a serious message and they are being...
Have a good night, everybody. Bobby, see you later, my guy. All right, on to the next one now, guys. What do we got here?
Fox News alert. We just got
breaking: suspect who showed up to Trump's golf course armed had Melania Trump's
a major update on the guy showed up at Trump's golf course with a gun. Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has the details. Mike.
Jesse, disturbing revelations from the notebooks of an armed suspect arrested at President Trump's Los Angeles golf course. Authorities say that includes the First Lady's schedule and hundreds of pages on Secret Service agents and sketches of the course. The suspect is Janine John Tail, 38 years old, a decorated Marine veteran from Downey, California. Tail appeared before Judge John Lonergan in Los Angeles today. Tail was wearing a suicide smock for the preliminary hearing. That's where prosecutors revealed new details about his arrest on July 31st. The judge calling the allegations against Tail, quote, alarming in this day and age with the violence that is creeping into our everyday lives, especially with the partisanship with the political climate. Prosecutors say Tail had several notebooks with 208 pages of drawings, lists of Secret Service schedules, details of individual security members, and copies of Melania Trump's schedule. He had also allegedly done research about, quote, going off the grid. Tail is charged in a federal criminal complaint with possession of an unregistered short-barreled rifle. That charge could earn him up to 10 years behind bars. He also faces a range of state charges as well. The rifle was recovered in a search of his home, along with a 9mm pistol, body armor, high-capacity magazines, radios, and a gold badge. After being detained for taking photos and video of security while wearing an earpiece ahead of President Trump's visit, the suspect pleading not guilty. He's being held on $250,000 bail as the FBI, Secret Service, and ATF still work to figure out his motive. Jesse?
Thanks for the update, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Our next one up here, let me refresh this real quick just to make sure we get it on there right. All right, next up we got Tucker Carlson.
You bet.
So, it's time to revive Trump's 2015 promise American identities hang in the balance with Tucker Carlson dropped earlier today. Let's check it out.
Anthony Fauci still has federal security. We're paying Anthony Fauci's security detail. He doesn't work for the government anymore. He spent the whole life on the federal teat, and he still has Secret Service protection. Anthony Fauci, who committed crimes, but you don't because the administration didn't want you to have security? Why?
I think to silence me because...
Silence you like get you killed? Because that's what it sounds like.
Do I think they want me dead at this point? Yes. I'm in a running battle every time I go out. I mean, every time.
Anytime somebody says, dude, I think they want me dead, I'm just like, and Donald Trump isn't saying this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking come on with the grift, my guy. Oh, they want me dead.
The citizens of my own community are like,
comes Tucker Carlson.
What is going on with you? These people come up, there's some crazies out there. You know this, Tucker. And you bet. Do I think they want me killed? Absolutely. You know,
the administration?
Yeah, absolutely. Or more of the gate guards. I don't think Trump would. I think if Trump knew what they had done and what they would do to Border Patrol agents or ICE officers or anyone that disagrees with them, I think he would have an absolute panic attack or a heart attack over something like that.
But you think Homan wants you gone, dead?
I think Rodney Scott, he's the one that took my security detail away with Homan there. Yeah, absolutely. You bet.
Why?
You know,
that's a pretty heavy thing to say. And if I wasn't from Washington, I probably wouldn't believe you, but I do believe you since I am.
Sure. Well, you know, I wouldn't have believed it either. But with what was coming at me the minute I retired, I thought, well, yeah, I'll probably get some security there. You know, they're coming after other family members as well.
Your family members.
Absolutely. Through the mail.
It's called psychosis. What we're seeing right now is called male psychosis. Too much Joe.
There was one point where the FBI had to intercept every single piece of mail because there were some bad things coming in the mail, that kind of thing. And just the vast amount of death threats. I got doxxed yesterday by WBTV Channel 3 in Charlotte, North Carolina. And
in what way?
Trying to name home addresses. They got
actually?
Oh, yes. You bet. Now, I've got a different address.
Trying to name home addresses. Actually, it's a different address. It's not my address. Okay, schizophrenic.
With my girlfriend out at a different place. But they did do that. And when that happens over and over and over.
What can you name the channel again?
A WBTV Channel 3.
Why would it be part of the news gathering process to put your home address on a TV channel?
You know, I think that that's something that we saw in those cities with an absolute out of control so-called news media. They're not a news media. When they do things like they're not a news media, they're a propaganda arm.
They're an enforcement arm at that point.
An intimidation arm. You bet. But the only problem is I'm not intimidated, or I wouldn't be here talking to you. Hey, they tried to take my legal representation away, or probably already have.
Who did?
That was Homan and the gate guards.
They try to take his lawyers too. They just keep trying to steal everything from this man.
Legal representation? In other words, if you're sued for actions taken in your official capacity at Border Patrol, you don't get legal representation?
You're supposed to. Absolutely. If it was under the performance of your duties under the color of law,
yeah,
and you weren't doing something illegal,
right? Yeah.
Then Absolutely, every minute of the day. But apparently others don't see it that way.
How do you know that?
You know, I got a call from another Border Patrol chief, a retired chief, who got a call from them saying, hey, if you don't stop, we're taking it away.
Stop what?
Stop coming on Tucker Carlson and
pointing
telling
out
the truth.
that there's still 105 million illegal aliens in the country?
You bet. And
Homan did that?
Okay.
His people.
His
I can't say he did. His people, yes. You bet.
His people.
Well, again, I've interviewed the guy a number of times. I hope he'll come back. I'd love to ask him about this.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe that would, hell, I'd like to ask him about it.
Have you talked to him since you left?
No.
So I'd love to put a finer point. I mean, first of all, what you said is shocking. Everything you've said is shocking. And really, really distressing and dark. If you think Homan and this other guy want you dead, I mean, that's unbelievable.
Well, proof's in the pudding.
I think that's fair. But why? I'd love to know a little more precisely why they're so mad at you.
Why are they after you?
I think when we have cheap labor politicians who are a very powerful force. I didn't realize they were this powerful, very powerful force. That puts a lot of pressure on some individuals, and some individuals maybe they want the lucrative contracts also. I don't know. I can't say that for sure.
Why are they after you? Literally can't answer the question.
But there's something there behind the scenes that causes that to happen. It doesn't just happen just for the hell of it. Hey, let's have Bovino dead. But
not because voters want it. Voters wanted to get back to the sort of pre-lunatic American population. They don't want to live in a crowded, poor country. Who wants that? Nobody wants to live in
I just love how Tucker Carlson literally just lets his guests go wherever the fuck they want to go. What a nut job. All right, next
Just a few moments ago, the Wall Street Journal is reporting.
Why did the CIA director fly to Russia? What we know, Aaron Burnett.
Why
She's
the CIA
concerned.
director made a mysterious trip to Moscow. John Ratcliffe meeting with Russian officials early this morning. And let's show you video of what's believed to be his plane landing in Latvia shortly after that visit. We are now learning what those discussions were about, according to the Wall Street Journal. They report that Ratcliffe was there to deliver a warning to Russia not to attack NATO countries, which is obviously a significant meeting, a message that could have been conveyed in many different ways. It didn't require the CIA director taking the sort of risk of going in there and having Ukraine not have to bomb Russia during that, given that CNN reported about 2 weeks ago that U.S. intelligence assessments indicated Putin could try to test NATO's resolve by launching an attack on a NATO member. Now, earlier, Trump downplayed the significance of the visit. Here he is.
He's there on, very sort of semi-routine. I hate to disappoint people. We would like to see the war with Ukraine end.
The comment there about the CIA director is false. The CIA director's secret flying to Moscow is anything but routine. This was Ratcliffe's first known visit to Russia since the start of Trump's second term. It's been 5 years since a CIA director.
I love how they're like, well, this is not how he would do it if he did it. The only answer you have is from them, and you have no investigative reporting. You're just like, no. The answer is no.
Step foot in Russia.
Okay.
I've spoken to a former CIA director who went there when times were much less fraught, who would have described it at the time as an incredibly security risk and anything but routine. Lara Seligman broke the story for the Wall Street Journal, and she is out front tonight. So, Lara, okay, you obviously have significant new reporting here. So let's just start with what can you tell us about this trip?
All right, next one. Hundreds dead and missing after flood.
Good evening, I'm Bill Malugin, and this is your
in
Fox
Nepal.
News report. Tech giant Meta agreeing to a landmark settlement
hate when they do
to
that.
end the federal social towards children. Carolina's GOP Senate Democratic candidate Annie Andrews.
Well, that's not
My next guest is a helicopter.
All right. China Nepal flash flood. Helicopter's pilot describes everything he saw.
Pilot who witnessed the flash flooding from the air. Armin Budutuki is on the phone right now. Armin, we appreciate your time. You were flying overhead
Mr.
as this
Dookie.
landslide occurred. Just take us through what you saw.
Hi, Linda. Thank you for having me. So this morning we had a scheduled flight to the border of China. The place is called Timure. So it was a beautiful day. We flew off from the capital, Kathmandu, and 15 minutes later we were 5 minutes off of the landing place. So as we were flying off above the river, we could see some dust far away. And I was flying with another captain, Captain Subhash. So he pointed out and he asked me if it was a landslide. And as we looked over there, we could see the dust like flying off from the river. And on closer look, we noticed it was a flash flood. So we tried to contact the authorities as soon as possible, but we were inside a gorge, inside a valley. And inside valleys, communication is really hard with the ATC. So we couldn't get in exact contact on that moment. So we went for a recce around the places there. A lot of villages we knew previously swept away. We could see the vehicles that were imported from China. Those were being swept away. And the whole scenario, it was horrendous. It was uncanny, anything like you've ever seen before. We even saw some houses and some trees being swept away, and everything like that before. And we could see every infrastructure, all the hydropowers, all the infrastructure, all the roads that were developed by the government being swept away live. And it was a horrendous situation. We tried to contact anybody around, but we couldn't. And we tried to go to the border side, but due to the flash flood, the thick dust smoke had covered the whole visibility. So we tried to divert back. And about 15 minutes later, we were in contact with another airplane that was flying near the vicinity of the flooding. We contacted that guy, and the pilot from the airplane contacted Kathmandu ATC and then relayed our message about how devastating the whole situation was. So Nepal went through a lot this morning.
Yeah, certainly. So the dust was so bad after that landslide that you lost visibility, had to leave the area. Have you been able to return?
Yeah, so as soon as the floods hit, we were right above the flood. We could actually see the dark water from the flood with the debris and the fresh water from the river mixing together. So we were on the site of the flood within like 2 to 3 minutes of it entering Nepal. So we couldn't descend down because the dust was thick down in the landing site, but we were about 1,000 or about 1,500 feet high. So we just diverted back, and then we tried to contact the authorities as soon as possible. And about an hour later, we initiated our rescue missions. Nepalese army, along with Nepalese police personnel, were deployed like within 30 minutes of us reporting. And then in the next hour, there were about 20 Nepalese helicopters that landed on various sites, and we were off for rescue then.
So take us through those rescues. We haven't seen a lot of images of the rescues at this point in time. We saw some cranes moving in to help people that had been swept away by the water. So you're...
August says, that's your choices. What about Messi? Remember, $5 super chats, guys. Add anybody's name to the poll today, but we start off with the top 4 on Kelchi, break it down to the top 2, and then we run it off from there. So that's our choices tonight. And if you're not a broke mofo, you want to put Messi in there for the last 20 minutes of our show, add that $5 super chat, become a member today.
The Nepalese army and other local helicopters, commercial pilots like yourself have been part of the rescue operation. How many people have you been able to rescue?
I couldn't give an exact figure on that, but there are a lot of people that were transported from the dangerous areas to safe areas. And till 6 in this evening, we were transporting doctors, security personnel, as well as other daily supplies that would be necessary for them to at least survive for the time being.
And for those that you've been able to rescue, can you give us a sense of the ages, the nationalities? We know that hundreds of people in the area that have been reported missing are also foreign tourists.
Yes, exactly. Hundreds, I fear even more people have been involved in this horrendous event right now. A lot of people that we could rescue, we brought them back to hospitals, some even back to Kathmandu airport from where people were transported.
Zuckerberg just agreed to pay up to $18 billion in one of the biggest tech settlements
agrees to the $18 billion
in history, and now he's trying to play some games to get YouTube and TikTok on their knees as well. Also, we've got to talk about this good golfing controversy. The Trump-Darlene Graham situation in South Carolina is so weird and also embarrassing at points, and you've got whole villages on the Nepal-Tibet border now gone after a devastating landslide. We're talking about all of that and even more on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news, starting with this. So not only did Meta just agree to pay US states billions of dollars to settle that massive child addiction lawsuit, Zuckerberg and Meta now want to bring YouTube and TikTok down with them. Because you have all of this stemming from a case where multiple states accuse Meta's platforms of harming children's mental health and getting them addicted to social media apps, all while lying about the risks that these apps posed. And in this trial that started earlier this month, you had Instagram head Adam Mosseri already taking the stand, and Mark Zuckerberg was expected to follow him. But then, boom, breaking news this morning, both the Attorney General of California and Meta itself announced a settlement. And according to California, it's worth up to $17 billion, but according to Meta, it's worth up to $18 billion, and it's going to be paid in installments over the course of 10 years, and it will mostly fund, quote, youth online safety initiatives, among other state priorities. You have it saying the states will receive 70% of it, and the remaining 30% will only be released if two conditions are met. One, YouTube and TikTok install 1-hour daily limits, night modes, and age assurances for child users. And two, that they each also pay an amount matching the 30% that Meta has to fork up. Which I will say feels a little bit like that meme and skit where you and your boys are running away from the police and the police find you, and then you're like, hey guys, come out, they got us. Thought we could get away with it. Yeah, he's in the closet. Yeah, and the other one's under the bench. Right, but a big thing is that as part of the settlement, Meta is not just coughing up cash. It also has to make major changes to how its apps function for users under the age of 18. And so you have them setting a default 2-hour daily time limit that can only be turned off with parental permission. And those 2 hours apply to both Facebook and Instagram use together. Meta will also create a night mode that blocks their apps between midnight and 6 a.m. so that users can't post or view their feed during those hours. And a separate school mode will be made to prevent kids from getting push notifications outside of DMs and safety alerts between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. when they're likely in the classroom. Also, users under 18 will receive regular prompts about their daily usage, be able to opt out of algorithmic feeds, and turn off autoplay. Also, likes will be automatically hidden from them, cosmetic surgery and extreme makeup filters will be blocked from them, and the list goes on and on and on. And a majority of these features will remain in place for at least 10 years, with Meta's chief legal officer saying, this will empower parents to easily manage how their children access our platforms and set the right path forward for our whole industry. But he then also added, and this is a key thing, this framework will only work if all our peers join us. Because teens move fluidly across dozens of apps, we need an industry-wide solution. We therefore call on our industry peers, TikTok and YouTube, to implement this new framework right away. With the company then also writing an open letter to YouTube and TikTok echoing these calls. And in fact, this is a big push. According to a tech reporter at the New York Times, Meta plans on running the letter as a full-page ad in major newspapers tomorrow. But right now, neither of those other companies have immediately responded to all this, and as it stands, this settlement still needs to be approved by a judge before anything's final. Oh, and of course, because this is how it works when you are a multi-billion-dollar company, Meta still reportedly denies the allegations against it, which I will say I love because it makes no sense. We didn't do anything, but we are going to give you $17 to $18 billion. And also, the other companies that are like us need to change too, for the thing that we all are definitely not doing wrong. Still with this, you have the New York Times noting that this is one of the highest sums ever paid by a tech company to states, and batting. The settlement could signal an inflection point for a social media industry that has largely escaped regulatory scrutiny over the harms its products have caused children. With one professor adding, Meta wouldn't settle unless it sees the writing on the wall and feels really exposed. Or because the way the lawsuits that Meta and other social media companies are facing, it's repeatedly been compared to lawsuits that tobacco companies faced back in the 90s. Lawsuits that completely changed how those companies could operate and in turn, the entire culture around smoking. And so far, at least legally speaking, Meta's been taking a ton of L's. I mean, just this year, the company already lost its first personal injury case, and it was ordered to pay nearly $1 billion in penalties in New Mexico over consumer protection law violations. And actually, on the note of money, there's an argument that Meta is getting off very easy here. Or because if the trial played out in full, penalties from a jury verdict, it could have theoretically ranged up to $1.4 trillion. Though one, it was unlikely to see a penalty the size of its entire market cap, and two, as you had Indiana's Attorney General saying, this is not just about money. It's about changing how these platforms operate so they stop exploiting the developing brains of our kids. And so if that's to be believed, one of the main real prizes here is arguably the changes made, yes, with Meta, but also on these other platforms. But even with this, right, it's not done. Meta still has a ton of other legal challenges on the horizon. Some, yes, they're from smaller entities like school districts and individuals, but others, they're bigger, right? Because while this settlement did include the vast majority of US states and territories, some with their own litigation were excluded. And so you had Florida's AG writing, Florida didn't join the Meta settlement, saying the payouts are peanuts compared to the profound harms Meta's profit-driven addictive features inflicted on kids, and a slap on the wrist for $1 trillion corp that pay more to lawyers than to states. We'll see them at trial. trial. So there are many other cases that are left to play out, and Meta's controversies, these days it feels like it goes well past litigation. I mean, just this morning, right before the news of this settlement broke, Reuters reported that Mark Zuckerberg had a plan to replace a massive chunk of Meta staff with AI, with Zuck and other higher-ups at the company reportedly referring to it as Project OT, right, envisioning an AI-native future for the company where much of the daily work performed by humans would be taken over by AI, and virtual workers would be overseen by small groups of human staffers. And reportedly they explored slashing the size of the Meta teams by as much as 60%, moving some to new units and others just getting laid off. And actually, not only did Meta speak to Reuters to confirm the existence of this project, they confirmed the potential layoffs as well and that 60% reduction figure. Though they also did say at no point do they actually intend to lay off 60% of the workforce. And as far as why that didn't happen, reportedly news outlets began reporting that Meta was planning massive layoffs, and that caused a ton of panic among employees. Right, that and, quote, amid the rebellion, other internal data indicated that the tech at the heart of the plan wasn't delivering. And while Meta did end up seeing some layoffs, they were not at the scale that this operation would have involved. But ultimately, we've seen just a ton of backlash mounting against the company, against Mark Zuckerberg, and just really from so many fronts. But the next...
Welcome to Chicago. Now we got Tommy G inside America's most interesting jail.
Notorious Cook County Jail. This place is home to just under 6,000 inmates, and officials estimate that roughly 95% of the men here are gang affiliated with ties to Chicago's most powerful sects, like the Gangster Disciples, Black Peace Stones, Vice Lords, Black Disciples, and Latin Kings. But behind the barbed wire fences, the Cook County Jail in Chicago is doing something remarkable. You see, they have one of the largest program offerings of any jail in the United States. Inmates here can learn to do commercial welding, train rescue dogs, plant a garden, and even learn how to cook oven fire pizza under a high-level Italian chef. Now, no inmates here are forced to do this, yet well over 4,000 of them choose to participate. So join us today as you see inside one of the most infamous and innovative jails in the country.
Represent Chicago.
Folks, we're on our way to Cook County Jail, and right now we're in Little Village, and actually this corner that we're at, we'll flash back from a previous video, but we were here with the Latin Kings on Mexican Independence Day. This place gets really wild, and to me, I think about, one, how many of the guys did we interview in that video are we gonna see today in jail, and two, what is the recipe to change these neighborhoods? So we have the opportunity today to step inside a very notorious place, famous in Chicago rap culture, and see what these inmates are up to. My impression is that this jail offers a lot more programming than the average jail around the country. They're trying some very innovative things, and we'll bring you guys inside. So I take it this is a gardening program that we'll be seeing, that these guys are at work. But I think it's refreshing because we're talking about young, able-bodied men for the most part in here, and most jails it feels like it's a purgatory where they don't get to be useful. And I think to a man, being useful is very important. So I'm curious to know, do they make money? Or how do the programs get funded? Is it taxpayer? Is it self-funded by the inmates? There's a lot of ways that this model can work. About 1 in 5 guys housed in Cook County Jail are here for attempted murder or for murder. So something to keep in mind as we walk in these doors. So all of the art you're gonna see today is done by the inmates. So you're gonna see some very, very cool murals, wall art, paintings, and I think it's cool because I think everyone in here has a gift in them, and maybe they haven't used their talents wisely for society, but this shows redemption, this shows potential, and what these guys are capable of. I can't do this.
Right.
Now, for obvious reasons, the inmates really like this one. I mean, when you haven't been outside in years and this is all you get, I mean, people take their time when they walk by here. That's what I hear anyways. Morning, how are you? What's up, fellas? Good to meet you.
Inside Division 11, Italian chef Bruno Abate and Sheriff Tom Dart created Recipe for Change, a program that teaches inmates the art of high-end pizza making. Driven by a nudge from God, Chef Bruno created this program in order to offer the inmates a real chance at rehabilitation.
Tell me what's going on over here.
Right now we're doing some pizzas right now. We're getting a delivery ready to take to people that buy pizzas. So we're just making them right now.
What's your role in this operation?
Well, me, I'm the one who'll be doing the doughs. You see this? I'm the one who get them ready so they could prepare them, put them in the oven, put them in the cart, and they're ready to go.
What charge are you facing?
I'm facing a discharge and a firearm.
And how long have you been here for?
Oh, I've been in Cook County for 8 months.
And then how long have you been in this program for?
I want to say about a good 4 months.
Tell me about it. What do you like about that?
Learn how to do pizza, You earn certificates with, you know, you do pretty good, you know.
How much do these pizzas go for?
They say you get a plain sausage, pepperoni, good $8.
How long have you been in this program for?
I've been in this program since August 10th, so I've been in this program for about 2 months.
So like, how hard is it to get into the program for this?
It's not that hard. All you gotta have is good behavior. You can't catch any tickets, no fighting. You just gotta be on your best behavior.
What are you up to right now?
Cutting the pieces and 6 triangles. I'm born and raised in Chicago.
What part of Chicago are you from?
South side of Chicago.
Okay, what neighborhood or area?
Allgill Gardens.
And what was childhood like?
Childhood, it was pretty decent. I grew up with my grandparents and everything, so it was pretty cool. I was raised in the suburbs, but you know, as I got older, it started getting like, you know, a little bad because I was starting hanging with like a different crowd of people.
Did you feel like where you grew up, like most young men gravitate towards the street stuff?
Yeah, yes, I think so.
What do you think the percentage is? Guys that chose street versus non-street where you grew up?
50-50.
The 50 that didn't choose, how did they avoid the peer pressure? What made them different, you think?
They wasn't followers, basically.
Do you think a father is a huge reason why someone might end up here or not in here?
Yes, sir.
So where was your dad in the picture?
My dad, he actually been incarcerated my whole life.
And what charge was he facing?
He was facing, I think it was armed robbery.
Of all things you can eat, this is the best meal probably?
Yes.
Were you much of a cook before you came in here?
No, sir. No, sir.
Is that going to change when you get out?
Yes, sir.
If you could speak to younger kids right now, maybe middle school, high school boys out there, what advice would you give to them?
Stay in school, don't be involved with no gangs, just stay out the way, and please don't end up here because this is not the right place to be.
One thing that strikes me is the monotony of jail. To me, to have opportunities to actually do something productive is huge. And if we can get...
Yeah, it truly is, because otherwise what are you doing? You're just sitting in your cell. You're not actually like becoming a better person. Learning how to make pizzas, having to be on good behavior, that's going to legitimately make you a better person. And with that said, guys, that is our show for the evening. Thank you all for watching. Whoa! No news is news! I guess we got that GTA light going on tonight, guys. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Gavin Newsom takes another win. His 25th win. Read it off right now. Snoop Dogg with 1 win. Ron DeSantis with 1 win. John Ossoff with 2 wins. Gavin Newsom with 25 wins. Marco Rubio with 28 wins. And JD Vance with 88 wins. JD Vance stays retired tomorrow night. We will be back again tomorrow with more No News is News. 2 p.m. Central Time, we will be doing a special live edition of the GTA 6 reveal, and then at 6 p.m. we will be covering Donald Trump in Houston, Texas, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow for 2 awesome live streams. Make sure you double tap, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button up in the top right corner, guys. Help support the channel. Hit that join button, become a comrade today, and keep a sponsor free. I appreciate you all stopping by once again. No news is news. Until tomorrow. Peace.